Welcome everyone to another episode of the Failed podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. I enjoy having great conversations. I just want to put that out there that if you find yourself not happy with life or looking for something else, start there. Just look for great conversations. Either initiate them or just find someone that you can just have those times with. And so I get that opportunity every time I'm here behind the mic with the guests that come on. So I'm expecting a great conversation today, and I think it's going to be a great conversation for y'all to listen to. Today I have Melody Yanez. She is the owner of Why Not Beauty. She's located here in the DFW area. She has a great story. She's had from what I've gathered, she's had a journey of many ups and downs and shifts. And so we're going to touch on a few things. I know that you're a positive person. I saw your Instagram. You're helping encourage and motivate people. So I love that. But what brought me to you was you had a story about your shop catching on fire. And we right now during this time, we know kind of the repercussions of fire because of what's going on in California. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit about how you grew up. Who were you when you were little? What was your home life like? What were your parents like? What were the things that were going on back then that made you who you are today?
Well, I grew up in Waco, Texas. Mm-hmm. So I'm not literally from Dallas, Texas, but I've been here about 25 years now. So half my life I've been in the DFW area. In Waco, pretty much got the same as some of us. A mother had me when she was young. We kind of grew up together. We became, now we're more like sisters than mother and daughter because roles kind of reversed a little bit. But so, like some people, we grew up kind of poor. Some of us don't realize we're poor, but we are. We just take what we got and we just go with it. But it was a good childhood. I can't complain too much about it. I mean, every one of us has hills that we have to and battles that we have to go through when growing up, but not too bad. I had a big family. When my grandmother passed away, she had 100 and I want to say
break it down for me.
She had there was 19 of my aunt and uncles and by my mother, and then she had 63 grandchildren, and then all of them loved to make a larger family. So with that, she ended up with like 120 great grandchildren. And I already started on the great-great-grandchildren when she passed. We've had a large family, so that was nice. Family was important. I mean, everywhere you went, somebody knew you, and especially in Waco. Yeah. It was good.
What were some of the memories of being a part of a big family as far as like get-together, Christmases, breaking bread? What are some key things that only exist in big families that when you went to smaller families, that stuff like that wasn't happening?
It wasn't happening. Grandma cooking her famous dinners. I mean, being a big family, when we had Christmas and had Thanksgiving, there was not enough chairs. There was not enough.
Everyone had to eat in sections.
And that's something that I've missed. I'm been married now going on 25 years. He's not from a big family. So we get together and there's one little table. It's kind of funny. But yes, the big family, just the laughter, there's laughter, there's arguing. But, at the end of the day, we all love each other. But that is something that I definitely missed. My grandmother's cooking. You walk in the house and you can just smell it. You knew what she was making before you even tasted it. Yeah. And it's crazy. Growing up too with the smell of coffee in the morning, and then top it. I couldn't wait till I could drink it. And I never liked coffee. Finally, when I couldn't
wait and you had it, you're like, this is bad.
This is bad. They're like, you need to add more sugar, more. No, it's okay. It's okay. I won't force myself to drink something. Yeah.
You said you grew up, poor, and a lot of people have, but they don't. When did you realize that? And obviously, we look back and we say we're thankful we grew up, how we grew up, because there's lessons that come regardless of where you are financially. But maybe what's something on the lighter side that you look back and you're like, oh, we did that because of this.
Right.
The other day I was warming up some soups, and it was, I forgot what it was like ramen or something else. And I realized like we had to eat some of this stuff back in the day because it was cheap. And now it's like this thing and people enjoy it. They add all this stuff, but you don't realize it. And it just becomes a part of you.
Right.
What are some maybe lighthearted things that you've come to learn looking back?
We didn't drink soda. We didn't have sodas. Yeah. We didn't have sodas. We didn't have that. We had it maybe special occasions. It was Kool-Aid, tea, water. That was all.
Yeah.
That was all you got.
Anything you can mix from water.
Yeah. So,
that's funny. Yeah.
You don't get all that. One of the things that I think of, my grandmother used to work for Mrs. Baird's. So, yeah, she made her tortillas. She did everything. But every now and then she would bring a fresh bread home.
Oh, yeah.
And you could still see the steam, the mist all on the package. And I literally, because we didn't have sweets, come on, I couldn't have cookies unless they made it. And, it may not come out all right. But I would literally dunk my bread in the milk because it was just so, I don't know how to explain it. But that fresh bread that just came out of the oven, the steam, I'd dip it in the milk. And my kids now kind of make fun of me about that.
You still do it?
No, I've told her the story. And then they're
it.
like, Mom, don't dip your bread in the milk. And I'm like, no, not anymore. But yeah.
How did growing up like that, how did it make you better now? What are some things that you're like, I'm glad that even though my grandma and my mom had to do this because they didn't have enough, it's still a valuable thing that you maintain now?
Know the value of money.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the big thing. I mean, like I said, I've been married a long time, and one thing I could tell my husband, and he'll disagree, but I'm not high maintenance.
Yeah.
I'm very low maintenance. Part of that is we did come into money. My mother ended up losing a husband, left us lots of money. So I figured out the value of money really quickly when you see all these people you haven't seen in years, and they're stuck to my mother for her money. So greed sets in. So then I've always looked at it a little differently. Me and my husband have an issue with that when it comes to money because I don't think it makes you happy. It can give you more benefits, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make you happy. It's just going to make you content. Okay, yeah, you can go do all that you wanted to do, but it's not really what's making you happy. And I got that big value from that. So when, some ladies like, I want a Louis Vuitton, I'm like, no, I don't want one of those.
Yeah.
And, granted, I'm still a woman. I do like my high expensive stuff, but I'm not going to take it out of my household. So it's just one of those things. And the husband always goes, well, I'll buy it. No, it's coming out of my household. No, I don't need that. I don't need it. It's just a purse. It's just a purse. So it's just one of those things for me that, I'm not a drinker. That's another thing. That was a lesson I chose from growing up. There were so many, alcoholics in my family that I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to add that to who I was. So I chose that I think I was a teenager when I chose not to be a drinker.
I want to explore that a little bit, but before we jump in there, what is one, because people have to deal with finances, whether they want to look a certain way, whether they have money or don't have money. There's this social media monster that is just confusing everyone.
Right.
And so what's like a lesson that you feel you got from whether, when your mom passed away, you came into some money, but yet you grew up poor.
Right.
But what's a lesson that works both ways that you gained that you can share with us?
I think in that sense, just to be cautious. Yeah. Think about what you're doing. Think about what it's going to do for you at the end. Not necessarily what it's going to do for you at the moment. Yeah, you're going to be happy. You're going to be joy. I got this bag. Yes. But at the end of the day, are you going to be able to pay your bills because you just took $1,500 out of your out of your bank? Are you going to be able to, are you going to have to struggle to get this? That's what I think about whenever I think about the luxury type of things.
Like that saying that says, think before you speak.
Yes.
And think before you spend.
It's definitely something there, think before you spend.
Yeah.
You said my mom passed. No, my mom didn't pass. One of her husbands passed.
My apologies.
Yes. If she hears this, she go, what?
No,
Yeah.
My bad. We retract that. We fixed it.
Okay,
so listen through the whole thing.
Thank you.
Got it.
But yes, that's what I think about. Think before you spend.
Yeah.
Just to see the long aspect, because like I said, don't look at it at the moment. Think of the end result.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me some positive things, or tell me what defines your mom for you now when you look at her in.
She made me the person I am. Okay, no tears. But she did. She taught me a lot more than she thought she did. I mean,
there's two ways. There's 2 ways we learn. One is by observing, and the other one is like, daughter, do A, B, and C.
Right.
Give me a few of those things that your mom
So
did
she was very strict. I wasn't able to do a lot. I think she was afraid that I was going to follow in her footsteps as being a young mother.
Yeah.
She was very strict at that. I think that was, honestly, I feel like that was a bad choice, because I still became an early mother. I became a mother at 18 and then at 19, So I remember, going, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do this?
Yeah.
But she there's certain things, like I said, now we're more like sisters than we are like mother and daughter. We talk just about every week. We may not talk every day, but we talk all the time. And, if I need her, she still gives me the advice that I need. There'll be a bad day, and she knows the right words to say. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I needed that. Thank you. Things that she's taught me, there was a lot of ugly. So I either had to, for me personally, I do things 2 ways. Or most people do things 2 ways. You're either going to dwell on it and make you sad, or you're going to learn from it and make you strong.
Yeah.
And I've taken every lesson that I've had from her, and it's allowed it to make me strong. So that's what I could say I definitely took from her, is my strength. A lot of my confidence actually came from aunts, and probably from a little bit from her.
Yeah.
But the aunts showed me different view, because they weren't my mother. They weren't trying to mother me, but they showed me how to be confident, and to be, take that strength and be strong and confident at the same time.
What's something that you would thank your mom for that would surprise her? Tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, the name of my business is Why Not Beauty Bar. What I wanted to bring when I started this was to let the ladies and men, both of them, stop looking at social media and love themselves. So show them how to bring their inner beauty out. So that's how I got started in this. So Why Not Beauty, what we do mostly is facials, lashes, lash services, which is lash lifts, brows. We have a massage therapist. There's another esthetician that works there. She does perfect brow laminations. Any ladies that love it, I'm telling you, she's the person to go to.
Where are you located?
I'm located in Hurst now. There, like I said, you can go to my website and you can make an appointment. It's whynotbeautybar.com. You can go there, make an appointment. We have flexible hours. We do cater to the ladies that work, so we have later hours.
Very good.
So, but yes, we do cater to both men and women, and we enjoy what we do.
Well, thank you for coming on today. Guys, in the description below, you're going to be able to find all of her links and follow her on Instagram as well. I'm sure they can message you there and get in contact with you. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for coming on.
Oh, no problem. That would have been a question you should have asked me before I could think about it. That would surprise her.
Well, like for me, growing up, looking back, my mom would whenever we were hungry, she would make us food. And then now I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to make nothing. Let's just go out to eat. And I have, and so it's so easy to just go out. But back then that wasn't an option for my mom. And she was committed to always feeding us homemade meals, if need be in the summer, 3 times a day.
Right.
Like, that's a difficult thing.
Yes, it is.
And she doesn't do it now. And I'm like, Mom, please don't. Let's just go eat. But I'm so thankful for that. But she did it on autopilot because it was her responsibility.
Right.
But I'm so thankful for my mom doing that, know. And that's something that I would say thank you, Mom, for.
Well, so I could say thank you to Mom for that, because she did that. She made dinner every night after about the age of 13.
Yeah.
It's about the time she grew up, when I was about 18.
Got it.
About 13 years old. So for that, as that example of the food, that would be my grandmother.
Yeah.
My grandmother would be that one that would make the 3 meals a day. So I couldn't use that one as an example. I'd really have to think about that one to see which one would surprise her. I've told her thank you many times for everything that she's done for me. Yeah. I've told her thank you for just the love that she finally figured out how to show. Because that's another thing. Being a young mother, you don't know how to show love to children.
Yeah. Being
young, you're just trying to figure out and grow, so you don't give that. So in that sense, I didn't know how to do it either. If you don't, you're not showed affection and love, you don't know how to give it.
Have y'all grown? How do y'all show each other that y'all love each other now?
Oh, now, yeah. So I said, we grew up a lot. Like I said, even for me, my kids tell me, Mom, you weren't very affectionate. That's one thing that I regret. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just wasn't shown that. And they've realized it too, going from seeing my mom to seeing everybody, that they didn't show it. Now, my youngest child is 23 years old. Now, he can't tell you that because I grew up. Yeah. I grew up too. Yeah. He's like, she always showed me she loved me. She tells me she loves me every day. She hugs me every day.
He's the youngest?
He's the youngest. Yeah. And so
of course he gets the best.
And exactly, that's exactly what they say. But it's not. It's in, like, I've tried to tell them as young women, because I have 2 my oldest are girls, and I said that's one thing that you got to realize. I mean, your parents are never going to be the same parents through every one of your children, because we grow, and we evolve, we learn, we figure things out. So who I was when I had my oldest is not who I was when I had my second. Yeah. And definitely was not. I was nowhere when I had my last one. Emotions were even different when I had my last one, because I was ready to have him. Yeah. So it's different. It was different. So, but like for my mom, I've always told her thank you. I've always told her I love her, even though she didn't know how to take it. Even when we were younger, it just was something that came out because I wanted her to know that I did love her. Yeah. And I was thankful for her. But yeah, to say something that she would be surprised at, I don't think there's anything there yet. We're pretty open. We're pretty close now. Like I said, we truly grew up with each other. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Earlier you said that there was a lot of drinking in your family, and you've chosen not to drink. Yes. In life, we're motivated to do something or to stay away from something. It can come from the same thing. And for you, you've chosen not to drink. Yes. Talk to me about commitments like that. That you're going against culture, and it's very difficult. But you stand in it because it makes you a better person. I'm not knocking on people that drink or anything.
No, I don't either.
But what are some things that really did stand out that you said, you know what, I really know that's coming from drinking, and I don't want that as a part of my life for whatever reason. Tell me a little bit of how you got there. And the reason I'm asking is because a lot of people will watch and they have a hard time standing out because everyone is doing something. Right. And I think that as individuals, we need to find that strength to do something that's just for us, and we have our reasons, but it's difficult. But you're doing it with drinking. Tell me a little bit of how you ended up there, what you saw, and what were some of the lessons that you've learned.
One of the biggest things was abuse. If it wasn't necessarily physical or verbal, all of it would go from drinking. They would sit there and drink, and next thing you know,
you were able to make the connection.
Everybody's fighting, and like I said, And I've said this to my mother. I said, either allow me to blame the alcohol or allow me to blame you. So it's one or the other, and I blame, and it's the same thing with, okay, I'll say it, same thing with marijuana. I don't do drugs. I've never touched them, and I know being Hispanic, that's one of our big things, which I don't think it's necessarily, but back in the day, that was one of the big things, smoking and drinking. Yeah. And that's one thing that I don't mess with. I mean, if it's done around me, you'll see me get up. I'll get up and it's not for me. Yeah. It's not for me. And people think I judge them. I'm not judging you. It's a choice I've made for me, not a choice that you made. Yeah. But that's one of the biggest things. And that's what I tell my mom, and I've told my siblings, and I've told anybody else that questions why. I'm like, I seen all this, seen it, I lived it, and I don't want to bring it back. And I'll say I'm in my 40s now. I'll have a margarita every now and then, but it's every now and then. I'm not even considered a social drinker. If I drink and I'm with friends and they're like, "You're drinking?" I mean, even my siblings, my brother, I have 2 brothers. Yeah. If I have a drink and I'm just holding it for somebody, they're like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. And I'm like, I'm 40 years old. Let me drink if I want to drink, and they make a joke of it. But that's just a choice I've made. I don't look down on anybody that drinks. Do it, love it. Just know what you're doing at the end of the day. And don't drive, okay? Don't drive.
Yeah, no, I just thought that was important to talk about because we just want to blend in. And it's okay to stand out. It's okay to be a little bit different, especially when everything is becoming more accepted now, like all the way from drinking and drugs and a number of other things. Now they're accepted, and so people think that because they're accepted, maybe I should consider it. Right. And at the end of the day, stand for what you want. Like be you. Be you. Individuality right now is one of the strongest things that we need to hold on to. Because when I look at social media and stuff, everyone is very similar on there.
Very much.
And we're different when we're having conversations, when we're doing life together.
Yes.
That really is the real prize in life.
And I mean, some people still, if I get together with somebody new, they're like, "You don't drink? Really?" No, I chose not to many years ago. Well, are you going to judge me? No, I'm not going to judge you. You do you. Be you. Don't worry about me. Yeah. And I make a little joke. I said I'll be on the dance floor. I said I love to dance, so I'll be on the dance floor. Y'all do what y'all need to do. If you're looking for me, I'm on the dance floor. I just kind of make it a little joke to just soften the mood a little bit. And but that's just who I've been. And my husband's like, she don't drink. And that's why another thing I tell him, I'm a cheap date, and because I could always be a drinker, and then it just brings the bill up, right? Just give me some food.
Tell me, so if I asked a few of your closest friends, your husband, maybe some other friends and family members, what would be some of the qualities that they say are your strongest qualities?
I'm very determined. Very determined. If I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. With or without anybody next to me, I'm going to do it. I am confident, and I will speak my mind if I need to. I'll wait it out as long as I have to see if somebody else is going to say it. If they don't say it, by the end of the night, you'll know what I feel. Yeah.
Talk to me. I want to talk about confidence. Yeah. You said determined and confident, and you said that you will speak your mind when necessary.
Yes.
I feel like when it comes to confidence, a lot of people always connect it to that.
Right.
I'm going to speak what I speak.
Well,
but here's why I want to lay it out, because I want to see what your thought is on confidence from a silent perspective, because I think confidence is not based on just communicating something, because people abuse that. And they say, "Oh, I'm confident. I'll say what I say." Well, I said, well, maybe you're just reading the room wrong. Maybe you don't respect other people. Maybe you just like to hear yourself. And so sometimes it's misleading. Right. So I'm not saying that you're not confident, but how do you show, or how do people know your confidence when you don't say anything?
Right. That's what I mean by when I said I wait it out. Yeah. I want to hear everybody's perspective, because maybe you make more sense than I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of wait it out. And if it doesn't feel like everybody's opinion still just feels wrong, then that's when I will say something. Yeah. Well, what about this? how do you feel about this? Yeah. It's not an aggression or anything like that. I just like to say my side of it.
I like that you said it's not aggression, because it's not. And
it's not.
People connect confidence to aggression.
They do.
And I'm like, what's wrong? No, it's walking in a room, holding your head up.
Yes.
Maybe sometimes it's like you're not going to be heard, but you're going to be seen.
Be seen.
And that,
exactly.
that requires confidence, waking up. You being in the beauty industry, it takes confidence to get dressed up. It takes confidence to comb your hair, to do your makeup, for me to put on a nice shirt. That takes confidence. And when someone is kind of like not focused on those things because they think it's too showy or whatever, I'm just like, no, it's because they're not confident. Someone that's confident walks, looks, behaves a certain way.
Right.
And so when you said that turned that light bulb up in my head. It's such a powerful thing that people should develop, but they need to understand it better.
Right.
And so give me another instance where confidence has just helped you progress, helped you walk into a room, helped you close the deal here as you're growing up as a young mom.
Let's see. Let's go as a young mom. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters. Okay. So one day my oldest daughter had braces. So, you got to take them to the orthodontist every so often. Well, her coach wouldn't let her leave. She's playing ball. So I get out. I have to go get her. All the girls in the gym, they see both myself and the coach kind of giving each other the look like, come on, I got to go. I'm more or less, let me take her. She's more or less, it's practice. I'm like, okay. So you hear the girls, ooh, something's about to happen. So, and I'm like, no. So the next day I call the school. I'm like, this is not right. I'm not about to fight a teacher. I'm not about to do this. We need to have a conversation. Because that's what we needed to do at that moment and have a conversation. And like I told the principal and I told the coach, because I told both of the coaches, it was whoever the head coach was and then this coach. And I said, she had braces when she tried out for the team. It wasn't new. I have to take her once a month. It's kind of routine. Yeah. But you do not have to tell her she can't go. She has to go. And just for me doing that, and I told the principal, I said, you have all these girls sitting here saying we're about to fight, and that's not who I am. I'm not about to go and be this person. Yeah. I'm a mother, so I'm about to take my daughter to get her braces done, and I don't want to have to fight every time I have to come and bring her. I said, this is something, and the coach is like, or the principal was like, you're not letting her go? Why are you... and the tables turned where it was more on her side than it was mine. And that was a confidence boost because you have to face that. You have to go and deal with that kind of issue. Being a young mother, you're like, okay.
Stay quiet.
Stay quiet and not say nothing. I wasn't one of those young mothers though. School's important. That was a thing too, growing up in the house with a young mother too. Education wasn't pushed. It was okay to have a D in your report card. It was okay to be mediocre, average. No, I wanted my kids to do the best. Yeah. So that was another thing that school was. I was there. I was one of those mothers that was there. If the teacher called, I was there. Yeah. So the kids knew that. Even the other kids knew that. Oh my goodness, your mom's here. You're in trouble. The boys were afraid of me too, and I'm like, that's okay. I'm all right. I'm all right with y'all being afraid of me.
You've had a lot of life. You've obviously a lot of experiences. You started motherhood early. Mm-hmm. What's a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self now that not only would help you, but right now, like there's literally a young lady that's going through what you went through. What's a piece of advice that you learn now or you wish someone would have told you?
Follow your gut. We as women, we as people in general, we have that voice in the back of our mind telling us.
The woman's gut is strong.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't follow them. Yeah. I mean, it took me years to figure that out. Yeah. Because our intuition, our instincts, it's strong, but we're naive in some form, that we don't want to follow our gut. You stop and think about the fact that that voice is telling you it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But we're still going to keep trying to push it to work, and it's not going to work. I wish I would have listened to mine a little bit more when I was younger, or not even a little bit, but more when I was younger.
Yeah, David Beckham put a statement out because he has 2 boys and a girl, and his boys it's just a little easier. They have these opportunities from a boy's perspective, and he said, I am trying my best to do whatever I can so that my daughter has the same access or to achieve whatever my boys do. He said, I'm tired of that difference. And they, and then you speak of follow your gut.
Yes.
And that may be where the courage comes from for a young girl listening to do something. Because I have a daughter, she's 12, and I'm like, dude, like speak up, like hold your head up. And it's not easy for her. And I have to remind her daily. And so you saying that, it helps.
Yes.
Someone will hear it.
Yes. I mean, I do that with my own daughters now. I have one that's 31 and one that's 30. They're 31 and 30. I tell them now, I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Listen to what you want. I said, that's your gut telling you what you want. Follow it. Do it. Don't go around and once married and she's like, well, let me go ask my husband. This is your wedding day. What do you want? Not what your husband wants. What do you want? And I went over it over again. Same with my other daughter. I'm like, what do you want? And I said, that's something that a lot of people don't stop and think about. It's not what everybody else wants. It's what you want. And that's part of our gut. That's telling us. It's telling us. I know that there has to be voices in the back of our mind somewhere telling you what you want. You know what you want. You just have to push yourself to go get it.
I have an interesting follow-up question on that statement. What do you want daily? Like when you wake up, right? There's this movement where it's like, wake up, affirmations, goals to do. How is your day gonna start, right? What do you want on a daily basis for you?
What I want is I want to wake up in the morning and look at my schedule and know it's full. At least to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I don't want to struggle anymore. Not just financially, but just in general. I mean, I look at my schedule and I'm like, okay, I have a podcast to do this morning, and I have a client later this afternoon. And I'm like, okay, all right, we're working. We're making it. So it's like, okay. But that's what I would like. And then to wake up with a smile on my face, no headaches, slept well. I'm a pretty simple person, so if I sleep well, I'm like, I'm good. Don't wake up with no aches. You're getting older, you get those little aches in the back and stuff. I don't want that anymore.
As far as your sleep pattern, are you a good sleeper? Are you a good person that go to sleep, get your hours?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I get in trouble for not sleeping good. I hate sleeping because I feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. I know it's important. Who instilled that in you? Because I know when we were young, you have a curfew, go to sleep, wake up. But at some point, you got to decide, I'm going to go to sleep at 10 or 11, and I need, where did you develop that? How do you maintain it?
That's just me. My body is telling me to go to sleep.
Got it.
It's telling me to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I've been that person that I'm not a morning person. So I tell my husband, the alarm goes off at 8. Don't wake me up until 8, okay? Yeah. I might be up earlier, just sitting there going through the phone, looking at reels, whatever, but I don't want to get out of bed till 8 o'clock. Yeah. And looking at things, I'm trying to figure out, sometimes it may not be 8 o'clock yet, but I'm on my computer and I'm doing things for work, for the spa, just different things. But yeah, I'm not a morning person. My husband is, and he's talking early in the morning, like,
shh. Too much noise.
Turn the light off. Why do you need the light on this morning?
Why not beauty? We're going to jump ahead.
Yeah.
Here at the Failed podcast, I like to talk about failures and challenges. They teach us so much. Oh. They cause us to have to do more than we expected, step up when we weren't planning it. And so in your business, about a year ago or last year in 2024, you had an incident in your building. Mm-hmm. You had a fire, and it just disrupted your business. It disrupted your life. I want to talk a little bit about how that happened, but really what came out. Like, what were your thoughts in the beginning of it? Because it can be devastating. You know what I mean? It's a lot to handle right off the bat. I want to get through that. And then I want to talk a little bit about what you learned. And the context is this, is if someone is watching and they lost their job, they wrecked their car, they got sick. Yeah, that something happened. But how do you continue going forward? That's where I want to end up. So tell me a little bit about the fire, how you felt immediately.
Fire. Oh, my goodness. It's devastating. I'm sorry. It took everything. I mean, I have been in business since 2017, so I started small and grew, and it took everything. There was nothing but probably my tablet survived, but everything else was gone. And any of the stuff that I thought we could survive, it couldn't. And, I took it anyway, and I'm like, well, maybe if I do something, let it air out, maybe it will be okay. But no, the smoke never went away. Yeah. The smoke smell never went away. One of my teammates, the ladies that works with me, she tells me all the time, she goes, I don't know how you did it. That was yours and it's gone. And I'm like, yep. I was very depressed. There was a point in time where she's like, are you going to take this? I'm like, no, I'm done. I had reached, we're just looking around and I'm like, it's all gone. It's all gone. I said, what do you want me to take the pictures off the wall? Why? It's gone. It was my license and stuff. I said, I can get that replaced and order a new one. You know, it's just, it was devastating. I don't wish that on anyone. And I know people have had it and it's gone. It takes everything. Yeah. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know.
How long did the not knowing what you were going to do, how long did that last where from the day you woke up and you said, here's my plan. Like, I got to shift. I got to do this. And I asked it for this reason, because it's okay to have that gap of uncertainty. Like some people are so desperate. Boom, boom, boom. How do I get? Sometimes you just got to be in it for a little bit, because the reality of it is it's going to affect you emotionally.
Oh yeah, no, it did. I mean, like I said, I'm not a depressed person.
Yeah.
And I was definitely depressed. I cried. Me and my husband argued because in his mind, it's all material. Yeah. It wasn't, he didn't have attachments to it. Yeah. So he's like, why are you sad? It's all materials. But no, I think it took me about 3 weeks. I called up, I have 2 ladies that work with me. I group chatted them and I said, if I do this, if I continue this, are you with me? That was my first thing. I need to know how big I need to get it, or I'm not doing it just by myself. Yeah. What do we need to do? Both of them said, where do you think we're going? We're stuck with you. We're with you. Like, okay. All right. I'm going to start talking to some real estate agents. I'm going to try to find us another place. I need to know all of that. But at the same time I'm doing that, I'm still very depressed. Yeah. I'm still very depressed. I keep going, universe, higher power. What are you telling me? Are you telling me to keep doing this? Yeah. Are you telling me to, what are you teaching me at this moment? Because
a lot of people would take it as a sign, like stop.
And that's what I was doing. Are you trying to tell me to stop? Are you trying to tell me, what do you want me to do? Yeah. I went and seen a friend of mine. She told me, grieve. And so I'm like, okay. So I left her place and cried. Yeah. I'm driving and I'm crying. And I'm like,
now, when it happened to that moment, had you cried before? Or were you angry?
I was angry.
Stressed? So it took a minute for that.
Yeah, for me to really grieve this. Yeah. And I cried because I was angry. I was so angry at this. And then, like I said, my husband wasn't supporting me. I was angry with him. I was angry. But when she told me to grieve and to cry, I actually went to church. It's crazy. I actually see myself more spiritual than religious at this point in my life. But I was raised Catholic, so I went to a Catholic church. And it's on like a Thursday. I don't know how to get into a church. I've never been there except on Sundays. So I'm like, front door, no, it's locked. And there's a side door. So I went and I got on my hands and knees, lit some candles, and I'm like, I need an answer. I need you to tell me something because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep going. Do I go get my license as a surgical tech again to go work in the hospital? What do I do at this point? Yeah. The next day, I got a call from a leasing agent telling me, I have a spot for you. It's got water inside of it. It's got 2 bathrooms. It's got this. And I'm like, I hear you. I'm listening. So, it was a very emotional day. Yeah. So I call up the ladies and I'm like, hey, you got to come look at this place. You got to come look at this. I don't know what you're doing, but stop what you're doing. You got to come look at this place.
Yeah.
And they all came in and like, okay, this is it. Yeah. I'm taking that room. I'm taking that room. You know, they're taking their rooms like children, you know, when you move into a new house. But yeah, it was something. It's still emotional, as you could tell, for me.
You know, I think of times where maybe I had a little extra and, you know, maybe like $30, $40 didn't mean nothing to me. Mm-hmm. But I recall moments when I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And someone said, you know, here you go, here's $20. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking it.
Right.
And I mean the value of that, of the gesture, of the money. And you just like, oh my God. There's like a lesson in that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when you got that call, you're like, man.
Yeah.
Like, forget the place, forget this, like just the call that there's something available.
Right.
But you had to be put in that position. It was not easy. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people go through a fire in their life, not realizing that a moment will come that you would not have valued.
No.
You would not have connected with people. You would not have looked. You would not have depended on yourself like you did. But you had to go through the fire to add value to a moment that you would have overlooked.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. I would have overlooked that.
And so you had to step up and be a leader in that time. And your team was looking to you.
Oh, yeah, they were.
You were carrying them.
I was carrying them, and it's hard. I think that's part of just my personality. I'm kind of one of the persons on the front line. But they were looking at me and they were like, come on, tell me what you want. And at this point now I got to go, okay, everybody figure out y'all's rooms. I got to figure out the receptionist area. I got to decorate that. I got to go do this. And there's things that we're still like, I have no money coming in. That was my means of income. I can't ask my husband to come and make the home bills and now come and do my business. So it was a struggle.
And we're almost out of time, but let me try to wrap this up.
Okay.
So going through that, there's a few more questions. The first one is this: what is your most valuable possession now? And I asked that because you lost so much of the stuff you were emotionally attached to. You bought new things. You went through a lot of transition. We look at possessions a certain way, but when you go through what you did, all of a sudden they're different. Mm-hmm. What's your most valuable possession now?
If you're talking about the fire, my most valuable possession is a sign. It's a sign that says, "Why not Beauty Bar?" Yeah. It made it through the fire. I did have to do some cleaning up, but it made it through the fire, and that would actually be my most valuable possession from the fire. It's up on the wall now.
Yeah,
it's a reminder. One of the ladies actually put another memorial, kind of closure to us. Yeah. She put us pictures of the fire and then a phoenix in the front of it. Because I had a dream of a phoenix, and it said, from the ashes we rise. I mean, it gave me the whole wording, phoenix, from the ashes we rise. Yeah. So that's what she put on there, from the ashes we rise. And it's a phoenix, and then the pictures of the old spot are in gray, and they're black and white for the ashes. So it was nice. But the other sign is probably what I take with me. It's going to stay with me.
How do you define failure And what advice would you give someone to face it? Failure and challenges.
Failure, I think, is going to depend on you as a person. Did I fail? No. Was it a challenge? Hell yeah. Excuse my language at that. But yes, without a doubt. Challenge I don't want to go through ever again. Failure for each individual is different. I honestly can never tell you that I failed. To be honest, did I make a mistake? Yeah, we all do. But to consider it a failure, no. But to know that I grew from it, yes, without a doubt. I am stronger every day from any failures that you make. That's, like I said, that's on you. You take your loss and you make it into strength. You turn it into something stronger. Challenges on this fire. Oh my goodness, there's too many of them. There's actually too many of them. Yeah. Know your insurance. Know what insurance you have. That's a big lesson for me. I didn't really have the one I needed. So starting fresh. Know your friends. Know who really depend on you and value you. That is something that is important. Yeah.
Well, Melody, thank you so much for coming in. Guys, don't forget, if you want to follow her, Why Not Beauty, all her details will be in the description below. And I just want to say thank you for coming in here, sharing your story. And
thank you.
I think there's a lot of value in what you've been through, and I'm glad that you were able to share it with us. I hope that I almost feel like I hope you find more opportunities to share it, because there's a lot there that can help a lot of people. And so thank you for being brave and talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
And so thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it. It was nice. I didn't realize it went that fast.
It goes, yeah, it's like that. So guys, thank y'all for tuning
in
to another episode of the Failed Podcast. And I just keep it short and simple. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.